Boom. You know it. That's right, the four Bs. But this time it's only 50% of the crew, which is Mr. All-In, aka the $1 trillion man. And myself, Sir Never Look, aka the Excellence of Execution. Surprise, surprise, no surprise, no Mrs. No Show. But he's been up there this year. Really has. Dr. Evil 10%, the so-called People's Champ, aka the podcast sick note. He's just been MIA for a number of episodes in 2025.
Yeah, trying to
What's
say
going on?
a wedding tonight, isn't he? Clearly a wedding on a Tuesday. Come on, bro.
Tuesday. We record on a Tuesday, bro. Come on, Tuesday. Where is this wedding?
And 1 hour notice as well. Like the wedding just came
Yeah.
out of nowhere. Just woof, hit him in the face.
Hey. Yeah. It's,
What a joke.
oh,
But
he hasn't got that many friends to have a wedding.
probably one of his wives, isn't it? Could
Yeah.
just be the plus
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Plus one again. As always, again.
Good to see him getting out of the house, though, isn't it? But uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so Bitcoin's had a little bit of a rough ride price-wise over the last
That's-
week, I would say. It's been obviously up to all-time highs and then it just dumped and then just continued to dump a little bit, didn't it? It's been a bit rocky. But
Mm.
over the last 24 hours it seems to have recovered somewhat, back to mid 80s in pounds. And what is Bitcoin's price in
I
US
was just
dollars?
looking.
Like
Yeah.
112. So yeah, it's still up there. Um I think if anything, it's just obviously this is October, isn't it? October's
Yeah.
supposed to be up only, and it started off so well, and then woof, did not take a turn. And Bitcoin did initially rebound from that and was seemed a little bit immune, but turned out it wasn't. Continued to come down a little bit, and yeah, and October's nearly over, so people are getting a little bit anxious. But
Mm.
as always, the thing to always look at is the core fundamentals of Bitcoin, right? Is hash power up and the network nice and secure, a transactions being processed through Bitcoin. Is anyone trying to change it to increase the supply above 21 million? All these things are looking golden. They're all on the right side of where they should be. The Bitcoin still is solid and as good as it's ever been. Um, it's just, it's gone down, what is it, about 15, 20% and then rebounded 10. That's really all, that's where we're at. And obviously people are a bit upset because it's should be a bull market, but look, we needed everyone to get liquidated. Everyone knew October was coming. It looked too good to be true. Obviously, the entire market was just leveraged long. So, literally, history dictates that if the majority of people think Bitcoin's going to go up this month, people will gamble on that. They have to get wrecked. The majority of people just get wrecked every single time, and
All the time.
it's happened this time. But guess who it doesn't wreck? It is good old Bitcoiners that just hodl, put it in self-custody,
Exactly that. Exactly.
sit there
I
and wait.
was
All
looking at the
right.
smarter. I was looking at the smarter web company, and that went up to I think around about £5.60 in its height and peak. Within 6 months now, that's absolutely wrecked to underneath a pound. Like it literally came and went and felt like I missed the biggest, and easiest double, triple, quadruple 4x. Nowhere to be seen because we're not we're not day traders or active traders. So I would have left my money in the company, believing that, okay, we're on a steady trajectory here, albeit it's gone up very quick. Would have been left high and dry right now. Hence the reason why I'm just happy doing what we do, stick to Bitcoin.
Yeah. And I found this great tweet actually. It's not on the agenda, but I was going to share it anyway, where
Hmm.
this really is it shows the importance of just not fucking about with Bitcoin and just hodling it, right? So this is true for the stock market as well, but I think it's even more so true for Bitcoin. So basically, if you just
Hmm.
miss 10 days of Bitcoin, between 2017 and 2024, um, you'd be devastated. Right? You're basically you go from being 847% up. If you just hold for those 7 years, you know, give or take 10 extra money, right? But if you miss 10 days of the best trading days, you'd be down 23%. So just 10 days out of 7 years. So,
Wow.
which is obviously a tiny amount. Just if you're just over 1 week out of those 7 years, then yeah, you'd be down 23. Miss 20, you're down 67. If you miss just 30 days, so 1 month out of 7 years, 84% down you would be on your investment.
Wow.
And obviously this is it summarized in this chart. Where you just hodl, do nothing, 800%, and you miss these days. And this just shows you how good your trading has to be if you're going to outperform Bitcoin, right? Because just holding Bitcoin means you're give or take going to 10x your money. But the second you start trading it, it means you start risking being out of the market during some of these days. So the rest of the days are not, obviously this kind of shows really that the majority of the gains that have happened over the last 7 years happened literally on these 10 days. So it's very violent moves. It just happened suddenly. And that's suddenly now the new level of Bitcoin. But yeah, this could just be absolutely devastating. So if you're an active trader, you could be out of the market quite a bit. And ironically, you probably would have been in the market this month, betting on it to go up. And hence, this is where these down days come. And mixed in all those down days, there was a big up day, and then it went down again. So obviously, as a hodler, you just go, all right, I lost 20%, then gained half of it back again. All right, I'm still down, but I'll just keep hodling and see what happens. But if you were trading that, you might have been on the wrong side of every trade. So instead of
Yeah.
being only down 10, you might have been down 30 or 40 now because you got it wrong each time. You were betting on it going up. It didn't. It reversed and went down. You're like, okay, I'll bet on it continuing to down. It went up. You're like, all right, we've recovered. I'll bet on that going up. And it went down again. So, oh man, yeah, it's basically trading literally is for, unless you have insider info, or you're connected to the New York Stock Exchange, just via a wire from next door where you can get your trades in first. Just
Well,
don't
it's
bother
crazy
trying to day
because
trade.
even now, the Michael Saylor trades of buying Bitcoin doesn't really shift the needle anything. So there's actually no incentive to want to try and time the market because, before again, Elon Musk's tweets used to
Mm.
send it skyrocketing. None of that affects it. If anything, you just, again, just, I don't know, just put a position in, but continue to buy. So you put a low position in. If it wicks down to this, buy. There's no guarantee that that happens, but otherwise, just buy and hold.
Yeah, there's really bad trading stories coming out now as well about that big dip that happened on that Friday based on that Trump news. Which
Mm.
I've seen some traders that basically thought they had a almost like fault-proof way of running October, which essentially was to be they had about 4 million quid. This one guy that's talking about it, he did screenshots of his dashboard that had 4 million in, um, and basically showed that it went down to 22 cents in the space of
Oh,
a couple of minutes. And
oh,
essentially, what happened was all that money was in the market in some shape or form, basically betting on the market to go up. Then you had a whole other set of other trades, all basically either to cancel that out, slightly long on the market, and essentially they were all set up that if certain triggers happen, then exit the trade, and your maximum loss should be 10 or 20%. But
mm,
obviously, it dropped so fast. But then they looked in the logs and they had it all. Um, botted up, right? So all these trades are just being happening by programming. They've set up this program to just execute potentially hundreds of trades, right? To essentially main protect their main trade, and then you basically backfill it full of loads of extra kind of cover in the background that just in case you're on the wrong side of something, you get out of it and you can kind of guarantee your exit. But essentially Binance just errored out. they checked their logs, and all these buys that were supposed to be happening, they were just getting server busy right now, try again soon. A load of different error codes coming back, and essentially it just continues to happen for a number of minutes until suddenly the price has gone from 100 down to like a penny, and
Oh,
then it closes the trade at that point. So essentially, it took their $4 million and liquidated it down to 22 cents in the course of minutes. And and yeah, and they're essentially completely blaming Binance's servers essentially being down. It's not that there was no buyers on the other side of the trade. It was the fact that the system was down that didn't let people buy it, only let people sell. But there's another,
ouch.
and they're all crying foul, right? Going, this is disgusting. Binance owe us the money. This is not fair. And obviously, as a Bitcoin, I'm sat there going, look, the whole reason you're in Bitcoin is you don't trust these third parties, right? They
Yeah.
third party, they'll either be incompetent or they might play against you. So who knows what's happened here? It could be Binance just fucking something up at a very bad time, and these error messages were just legit. That system was down just by accident at a very bad time. Or it could have been on purpose and they did it to liquidate a load of accounts and steal their money. But whichever one it is, it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter as a Bitcoiner. You go, you trusted 4 million quid in the hands of somebody else, you get what you deserve. Oh, my signal's crap. You there?
Are you back? You froze.
Good stuff. Yes, I'm back. My signal's crap.
Cool. Right. Yeah. But yeah, you were saying you trusted 4 million in the hands of somebody else, and yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, it all gets taken. It's the same as holding your money in your bank account, thinking it's good, even if it's just sat there rotting and rotting to inflation. There's still a risk of total loss when
Yeah.
government comes to steal it. Same as your pension, same in your stocks and shares. There could well be a time where the sell button disappears or the withdraw button disappears, and it's just yeah, that's the only way to protect your gains when the financial system collapses is to not have it in the financial system, which is why we're Bitcoin, right? So it's kind of hilarious that there's people that claim to be Bitcoiners trade 4 million quid of their own money, lose it through no fault of their own from the looks of it. Just a third party just steals it, and then they're crying foul. Like, don't you
Especially
realize why we're here? We're here because that happens. Stop doing that then.
especially with what happened with these servers. With the servers this week going down.
Yeah.
It's like that's why you cannot trust anything.
Yeah, there's loads of funny memes about that. Every time
I also,
goes down, just like the entire internet goes down. And there's a great little story
yeah,
actually. People were screenshotting their NFTs whilst that AWS outage happened, and a load of the images were just like this page cannot be displayed right now. So they're immutable, decentralized JPEGs that they spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions, on just had a 404 cannot be displayed because AWS went down. Because guess what?
yeah,
The images aren't stored on the blockchain, are they? It's just a link that goes to a website that stores the actual image. So,
yeah.
this is why everyone was like, you have just brought a JPEG, right? You brought a link to a JPEG. And just because that link is the one that links to that certain picture, somebody could change that picture, that server could go down, or I could just host that picture on a different server and have a different link. And how is that not worth the same as what yours is? But yeah, it was hilarious seeing a load of like these supposedly still the most valuable JPEGs still out there. I think some of the apes supposedly are still worth like 10 or 20K each, down from millions, but they're the ones that
I
supposedly
was gonna say, yeah, they were worth millions.
yeah, but apparently they're still worth 10 or 20K. But they all
That
just
was
had
like,
404 cannot be displayed.
gosh, it's like the ultimate flex.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was what people were using for their profile pictures, wasn't it? To be like,
Yeah,
here's a 2 million profile picture. It's You kind of, it was one of the ones that's the only kind of use case I actually have got. It's like, oh right, yeah, on the internet, a lot of people don't like to use a profile picture of themselves. So it's probably the one flex, and it's almost like, you buy a, why do people buy a 500 grand car? It doesn't do anything else than probably a 50 or 100 grand car will do. But people will know you're in a very expensive car, so you're flexing on others. You want it for the image,
Yeah,
the look. She go, well, yes. So suddenly I went, oh, right. So potentially people would spend 500,000 quid on a profile picture. That actually kind of makes sense for super rich, wealthy people that have money sloshing around. Maybe that is something you do. Maybe it is. It doesn't really make sense to me because it just seems like a little bit silly. Because obviously you could just grab that image from anyone, but if it had a little tick on it or a little mark, it's like, oh no, but this is the original because Twitter says it is. But yeah, that died off pretty fast, didn't it? And it's now if you've got a profile picture of some stupid NFT, you just laughed at really, aren't you? It's not a flex anymore. It's almost an
yeah,
embarrassment.
exactly. You look like a crypto boomer.
Yeah. And everyone's just like, oh, how much did you pay for that piece of shit? I bet at least at least 20 times what it's worth now. But something that people are buying is gold. Gold's booming. Um, Gold is literally booming. It's added 300 billion to its market cap just today, and this was October 16th. So it is a few days ago, but basically, gold is just flying in price. It's doubled in price over the last 12 months. And what that basically means is that it's adding, you know, um, an entire Bitcoin market cap like, in a week or so. Um, so this tweet is basically being like, this could be extremely bullish for Bitcoin because essentially, why are people buying gold and in the volume that they are?
Back in 2 secs.
Okay, I'll carry on. So, why are people buying gold? Well, it would be to get away from core markets. They're worried about volatility. Obviously, people are talking a lot about this is the everything top. AI has just really shoved things over the hill. Valuations are way too high. So people are running to safety. They're looking to put their money where it will hopefully hold its value the best, and gold seems to be that mechanism right now. But obviously, as we kind of know, and what's happened previously is that when gold goes up, it tends to be the boomers kind of lead the way and buy their gold, and then once others kind of catch on, it tends to, as this person eloquently says, pump the fuck out of BTC. Because I actually put one of these on my um, page. So this is probably backs this tweet up quite nicely, where you've got the top of gold in 2020 around here, and when gold hits its top, then it tends to obviously have a bit of a blow off, just as Bitcoin typically would. But if you mark these days like to like on the last bull run, um, Bitcoin had gone up a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
but that was basically the top of gold. And that as that starts to reverse, kind of triggers the real one for Bitcoin.
Mm.
Up to today, you've got as we can see, here's gold going from 3,000 to 4,300 there, basically it gone up an entire $1,000 just since
Which
September.
is crazy.
And here's Bitcoin down here. So if it does do the same thing, over the next 2 months we go to over 200K.
Wow.
So as you know, I obviously hate these trading charts and all that kind of bollocks, but when I
I
see one
know.
that confirms my biases and pumps Bitcoin, then I'm more than happy to fucking share it.
Of course, of
So
course.
let's just hope the fairy dust and unicorn magic does correlate Bitcoin and gold again. But I think undoubtedly it's a good sign that gold's going up, right? I think there's a lot of Bitcoins going and probably me included to a certain extent, like why are people buying gold? I don't really get it. I thought its time was done, but clearly there's a lot of people in the world that want a flight to safety, do think the financial system is going to collapse in some shape or form, and their hedge on that is still in their mind. The number one asset as a hedge against the system is gold.
Yeah,
So you kind of go, okay, because I'd imagine it probably is very wealthy people potentially that are doing this. We don't really know how many individuals are behind that kind of volume because obviously you see 300 billion in a day be added on, and you go, well, there's some, as we know, behind the scenes, there are probably 10, 20, 30 people up there that have trillions. No one knows their names, but they freaking run everything, right? So if they just go, you know what, I want out of the stock market as well. Just buy a couple of trillion of gold. Just you never know what's kind of driving these things, do you? So is it retail or is it the people that know what they're doing? And almost either way, the fact gold's going up is always bullish for Bitcoin because that just means sentiment is turning negative on the financial system, and that's where Bitcoin obviously sits. Um, so we have our next potential little conspiracy. This has still not been confirmed, but we could have
yes.
the Gigacuck and Joe Rogan, Mr. Ivermectin himself, um, together on a podcast. So essentially, it's rumored that the Saylor interview with Joe Rogan has been filmed. It was filmed yesterday, so October 15th. So pretty much the last week on
The
Wednesday.
biggest podcast in the world next to ours and Michael Saylor.
Exactly. Just
Nice.
bigger than our little pod, yeah. But yeah, um, I think it'll be a bit of a mixed bag now because I think it will. I think I'll be obviously watch the shit out of it because clearly Sailor's a very good talker in Bitcoin, but he does tend to go on for monologues that literally last for
Yeah,
45 minutes to an hour, and Joe's not going to let him.
yeah. I was thinking exactly the same because the reason why Joe Rogan's podcast is so good because he asks very simple, pertinent questions that the average person wants to know. But if by any chance Sailor does what Sailor does, then he'll answer the same
Yeah,
question
yeah,
and it'll be a 15-minute rant
yeah,
and it'll lose the majority of the average Joe Rogan listener and viewer.
yeah. Because
They're,
just
they're not ready for that.
is in the follow-up.
Yeah,
Asks a basic question to basically usually a genius in that space. They start to go to their standard stock answers that are full of like technical terms and insider
right.
knowledge and acronyms. And he just kind of sits there and goes, "You fucking what?
Yeah,
what are you even talking about right now? What's that bit mean?" And then you suddenly get this smart person that is usually just almost reading off slides in their head to go, "Oh, I didn't realize that you're not got a PhD in this as well." Well, yeah, guess what? None
correct.
of us have. That you're in such a niche topic. Like it might be some astrophysics or freaking sports science, whatever it might be, and they suddenly then go, "Oh, right." And then they explain it to Joe, and then he goes, "Right, oh, so that means that. So what does this bit mean then? If that joins,
Yeah,
and then so that's kind of the genius. Essentially, you've got almost the everyman in Joe, who's super inquisitive and very good at asking questions and getting extremely smart people to explain very complex things simply. And
yes,
but for that to happen, it has to be a conversation. There has to be back and
yes.
forth. If Joe asks a question and doesn't say anything for 20 minutes, it's just you might as well just watch any old Sailor. And I would love Sailor to be quizzed properly and have a quick back and forth. But I don't think it's how Sailor works. I think
Mm,
he's too good in conversations. He's too like commanding and always just keeps fucking talking, doesn't he? And
yeah. Another person that I've seen do this as well, uh, and I think it's inherent in them, is Ray Dalio as well. He doesn't give short answers, and he actually asks. He says, "Are you sure you want to know the answer?"
yeah,
And he says, "If I may, I'll elaborate," and then he goes into it. as we know, I think the best person that Joe Rogan really needs on his show is Lynn Alden because she's like a computer. Any question that you throw at her, and she will be able to break it down nice and simply and then still appeal to the masses, which is why whenever she goes on any podcast, she gets thousands of views.
Yeah, I just said Jack Mallers for me.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
and
super personable. I just purely for that. I think there's a lot of men that watch Joe, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, you're right.
Jack's just a bit of a lad, and explains it, I think, as a lad
Yeah,
would want to hear it. Lynn,
yeah,
you need to be, I think you need to be a little bit educated or already interested in finance to kind of keep up with her. Because again,
yeah,
she's quite technical, isn't she, almost off the bat, which again could be great for Joe because Joe will
yeah,
dig into that and go, when you just referenced the 1300 Chinese market collapse, what's that?
yeah.
Before you just use that as an example as to why this makes sense, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. What happened in 1300 China? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, you got to go back, like, because otherwise she drops in so many of these fucking references that are
she
from things
does.
that you kind of like nod and go, I think I know what that one was. Well, what she's
Or I think I trust you. And she is right. You know, you can
yeah,
fact check her, and she's never gonna, or has, I've never ever seen her stumbled or thought, actually, I've got myself out of too
I
much
know.
out of my depth here.
Yeah, it's just for
She's,
the
yeah,
everyman to like understand it. Whereas I think with Jack, it will just be the majority of his first
yeah,
answers he'll just get it. So I think Joe would end up probably quizzing him on the negatives of Bitcoin for longer, which is good because you're out of sales pitch mode now. Like you basically got
yeah,
to the start and finish of the Bitcoin kind of here's the good side, right? They're clearly kind of slightly coming on as salesmen, right? They're going to be bullish on Bitcoin, which just makes you look like a salesman, whether you like it or not. Um, so then Joe will be like, right, everything just sounds so good. And you'll just be sat there going, but I'm not convinced. Just like so many of us were when we hadn't pressed the button, but you heard about Bitcoin, you hear all the positives, you're like, right, just sounds too good to be true. There's a couple of things in your head, isn't there, Joe, that you haven't got out, and you might just click on them whilst Jack's there, and then Jack could then like fill in that blank and go, oh no, this is why that's there, and that's why this is there, or whatever. Like you can get out those final little quirks. But with a sailor, he's just going to be fucking talked at, isn't he? So
yes,
I think we will learn zero new things, but who knows? He's obviously going to go out to 80, 100 million people. They're going to go get heard about Bitcoin again, but I don't think there's many Joe
mhm,
listeners that haven't heard about Bitcoin already. I think we're quite correlated anyway.
yeah.
I would argue
It's,
that just about all of them have already heard about Bitcoin, and if they're going to buy it, they probably would have already bought it.
I was just about to try and look on. So you remember Saylor's website, hope.com?
Yeah,
And down the left-hand side, it's got all of his interviews, all of his podcasts. Or no, it's got interviews of people in Bitcoin. Then it's got podcasts, resources, stuff for corporations, websites, and importantly, people that he's recognized as fellow Bitcoin leaders. Unfortunately, the leaders page is down or been removed from the website and has changed locations according to the website, which is a shame because I was going to think, well, I was going to look across it and then think to see who else has he acknowledged as a leader that could also go in his place. And yeah, for some reason that is not there, which is very, very strange.
that is strange. Yeah,
Yeah, the one part, like it's obviously, yeah, it's got all of his interviews. It's got podcasts on there. Needs hours, but yeah, strange.
I'm gonna have a quick little look on the Wayback Machine. Let's have a little look on here. Mm-mm-mm. Doing it live. Let's see what the Wayback Machine will have for us. I found
Mm.
it took a copy of that page on the 19th of September.
Okay.
Come on. Oh my word. Might have to do another story. This is too painfully slow. I don't think there was any controversial people on here. Oh, yeah.
No, there wasn't. No, it had like Preston Pish and obviously again Lynn and I
See,
want to say Max and
Andrea,
Stacey. Yeah,
Adam Back,
yeah,
Marty Bent, Jeff Booth.
yeah,
Yeah. It quite quickly falls up a cliff. Oh, Max Kaiser would be hilarious.
yeah. Max would definitely be good. I was thinking about him on Joe Rogan. So yeah, I think that would be a very good show. Imagine, I don't think Max drinks or smokes. He doesn't need to, but that would be good.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
deleted that page, but yeah, he has. Sweet.
uh, uh,
Let's we move on.
yeah. Let's move on. Yeah, just a shame if Saylor does go down that monologue route. It's a wasted opportunity because I
Hmm.
think he could really be a regular guest on Rogan and one that goes back time and time again because he will have he's going to drop gems without a shadow of a doubt. He's going to drop gems, and then in a year's time, when the price of Bitcoin undoubtedly goes higher, you can go back and reference those gems and people learn more and then they go down the rabbit hole even more.
Yeah. The another risk as well is that he ends up talking about treasury companies.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
and basically shilling his stock as opposed to
Yeah. Yeah.
but but yeah, weirdly, I actually had a text off the brother-in-law um this evening just before this pod. He's currently at
Oh
an
yeah.
event that MicroStrategy are at. And he said he spoke to them for half an hour just so he could get a goodie bag. And he sent me a picture of the Strategy B orange bag full of like goodies. So it's basically just like Bitcoin memorabilia. So he said
Nice.
he might try and grab me one tomorrow. He's still at the conference tomorrow as well. So
I have some stuff for you as well actually. It's only small, but I thought about you.
oh,
Yeah,
quite
so
smart.
these are from Token 2049. Uh, one more. It's yes, there it is. So I don't really deface my, when I read a book, I'm not one of those that writes on the book or anything like that. And same as the laptop. Obviously, my laptop is the work laptop, but I'm thinking about buying the new MacBook with the M5 chip, and because I need a laptop, I've been saying it for years. I need to buy a laptop. Anyway, where I'm going with this is I picked up some cool stickers for us all. So this first one, I don't know if it's going to be like see. I'll change my background. Let's take that off. There we go. Can you read that?
I was early, just too early and too late. Okay. All right. When life gives you Bitcoin, make two. What? I didn't even get that. The roller coaster you can't get off. What's that in the
And last but not least,
It's not a loss, it's an investment.
so I've bought yourself. So Dr. Evil 10% and Mrs. No Show, those four stickers as well from Singapore. So when we meet up, I'll be gifting them to you guys.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Go.
it's the small things.
Very nice, very nice. I'll have some stickers and some MicroStrategy swag in the coming weeks.
Yep.
And maybe a bull
Um,
market as well.
yeah, it's the top. It's the top.
But yeah, just as we're talking about, Bitcoin and all that good stuff, and obviously what's the the market doing and just what's life doing. And I think it's always good, I think, to humble yourself and just be like, look, maybe we're not like flying quite as hard as you want to be, but what's your alternative? Like seriously, what's your alternative? And this tweet, I think, just sums it up. Mortgages extended from 25 to 30, then 40 years. Houses cost 20% of your salary, then 30, 40, and now 50. Retirement age was 60, then 70, now 80. One income supported a family, then two, plus a side hustle. You can start a family in your 20s, then in your mid 30s, and now barely in your 40s. People could afford four kids, then three, now barely one. Beating inflation required a 5% return, then 10, now 15 per year, every year. You don't need a degree in economics to see this is rigged. They stole your time, your savings, your future. Bitcoin is how you steal it back. And I think in reality, that's just it's like it's not even like whether you believe in it or not. It's like, can you afford not
Mm,
to? And what is your fucking alternative? The financial system is fucked, right? And even when we were like weren't quite in Bitcoin, like that far into this, we had a sense of all this that we had to figure
yeah,
out investing. And I remember when we were doing it, I remember half
yeah,
going, we only have to do about 10% gains a year to just be outbeating the system, right? At least then that we're treading water. Anything over than that, then now we're making money, right? That they were the early targets because you're like, all we were trying to do really is beat the system that was trying to keep us down. Like, let's take the little bit of money we have, put it into the market, and let's play these fuckers at their own game. They're pumping
yeah.
all their stocks and they're just killing our wages, and our cash is never enough. So we're gonna have to start playing their game. And obviously, once you've realized that there's a genuine alternative and it's Bitcoin, you go, well, of course. They have screwed this generation and future generations probably almost the generation before us, I think, rode out the housing boom, so almost got away with it. But our boom in this generation is the Bitcoin boom. It's the only way to survive this now because society financially, I think, is circling the drain. There's only so long that people put up with this, and obviously everything's getting so bad that, and if you're not in Bitcoin, then what are you in?
Exactly. What are you in? This particular tweet, right? I've thought about this for so long and I've not been able to do the equation. But for every, I don't know, for every pound or for every sat that you deposit, and like when they say in 2030, Bitcoin will be worth X amount, and then 2035, it'll be worth X amount. I just think for every, 5, 10, whatever K that you're saving and putting into Bitcoin is reducing the amount of years that you have to work. Somewhere out there, there will be a calculation, I'm sure. But that is exactly how I've had it and thought about it in my mind as well.
Yeah, it's always good to bring back the Titanic analogy. The world's on the Titanic, and there are life rafts that are sailing away, and you have a chance of surviving. It's still going to be rough. The collapse of the financial system does not give roses and private islands to everybody. Yeah, they'll still be reserved for the hyper rich. But do you want to survive, or do you want to go down with the ship? And the life rafts are going off, and in this financial world, they're the Bitcoin boats. Bitcoin is open, it's available, but there are only so many seats. Because once a certain amount of people are basically in Bitcoin, the price will be so high, and eventually the gates will get shut. The financial gates will close,
Correct.
and they'll either tax it or freeze it or just outright steal it to stop you getting it, and essentially causing the ship to sink even faster. You need as many people to stay in as possible. So, but at the moment, the life rafts are open, so anyone can just get on it. You're not being a criminal. You just got to get in line, pay your fee, and you can get on. And you can exchange your fiat, and they will happily give you Bitcoin for it. So, this is the golden era now, and it's not going to be long. And as we saw just on the price appreciation, the last 7 years, pretty much 10 days in 7 years is when Bitcoin went up. That's all we're waiting
Yeah.
for, right? And that's all we're kind of waiting for this year, really. I think we probably had one of
So,
them that took us to like the 120, and we've
yeah.
had a couple of down ones. We'll get another one, and it'll take us straight to 200, and
Yeah.
you just be like, "Fucking hell, where'd that come from?" And
Yeah.
we actually won't take us to 200. It'll take us like 300, and then we'll pull straight back to 200, and that will suddenly now be the price of Bitcoin. And everyone would
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, it's dumped to 200. What? How do you feel like it was 300 last week?" And we'll all just be sat there going, "You were fucking idiots." Like, have you any idea how long we've been in here? And it's just dumped to 200. How do you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking happy. Fucking happy. That's how I freaking feel. And yeah.
But it's also as well, going back to it takes us closer and closer to being out of the game, but it also puts me deeper and deeper into a sense of calmness. Because one, I was fucking right. But two, it's just like, it doesn't matter, I don't have to play your silly games anymore. And, as we were talking before we recorded, that's a great place to be, where you don't have to nod your head and say yes and do certain things. Right now I'm probably working, and I said this to someone earlier. I said this to one of my team members. I'm working harder than ever. I'm actually the wealthiest ever. I'm not actually worried about that. I'm more focused on the success than the money. Like, I want
You're on the
big,
final stretch now, aren't you? You're coming around the bend. You're like,
yeah,
I want to finish in world record speed now. I'm not going to start walking now. Like, I'm getting the
correct.
momentum. Let's freaking finish fast and finish the race.
Yeah,
And then you can decide whether you want to keep running, slow down for a bit. Now it's on you. Like, at
yeah,
the moment, you got your bills and the boss biting at your heels. So
correct.
you got to fucking run. You've at least got to jog, but
Oh,
you might as well
yes.
sprint, and keep well ahead of
Oh, yes.
them.
Exactly
Because if you
that. Yeah.
stop, they eat you.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you got to start eating into the savings.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
what you don't
scaling
want.
back, doing some government
Yeah.
cuts, scaling back family services, cars, houses,
Yeah.
Christmas presents, holidays, all start getting cut.
Exactly that. And the way I
No
look at it
bailouts.
is,
Unless you
no
got the bank
bailout.
of mummy and daddy, but yeah, none of us really have we? It's you're on your
No,
own,
we don't come from that.
kid.
We don't come from that world, so that's not happening over here for sure.
Yeah. Might give us a few quid for some petrol or something occasionally, but like, you ain't gonna get like, oh shit, you just lost your house. All right, well, see you on Saturday for tea.
Yeah.
And now you're getting out of that one.
Exactly.
It's like it's not like yeah, like the 50 quid for petrol when you're 17. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, no, it's the stakes have changed and I need 500k by Wednesday. They're like, that's gonna be a no from me. We've never seen that much money in our entire lives. So yeah, it looks like you're bankrupt, kid. And yeah. Sweet.
But
Oh God, yeah. So the next story is actually really random. I'm not even sure if it's just an outright troll or this person's actually genuinely done this, but I got a feeling it might actually be true. I haven't actually read too many of the comments that have happened recently, so I'll probably find out in a minute. But
hmm.
this guy thinks he's bought, or says he's bought, $250,000 worth of physical nickels. So that's 5 million coins, £55,000 of American metal stacked in boxes from a local bank vault, an asset the government literally can't print anymore. And he's got some good thesis on it, right? Where essentially he's betting on the the price of steel, um, and or nickel. Actually, no, here it is. So a US nickel is made of 75% copper, 25% nickel, weighing in at 5 grams. So for every $1 million in face value, it equals basically £100,000 of metal. And it works out the prices of these metals. and essentially, um, he is essentially betting on the fact that the US Mint is going to debase coinage again, and basically start taking out. They basically ban this type of coin that has way too much valuable metals in, and basically replace those metals with a much inferior metal. So basically, his coins will now suddenly be rare, but also he hopes that the metal values double, triple, or maybe even get banned, which means their price will go really, really high because no one will be able to make any nickels or potentially even get or access to these metals. So yeah, he thinks he can make a load of money out of a load of nickels. So I don't hate it as a bit of a,
Mm.
but at some point, if he's right, and obviously if currency debasement really happens in any real extreme, you're just gonna be running around with a load of fiat denominated metal, which, the fiat denomination is going to be worth anything, right? You're gonna need $1 million to buy a loaf of bread. So a nickel is going to be literally worth zero with
Zero.
the rounding error. Uh, so then, yeah, you literally will be melting it down, and yeah, maybe. So let's just say like he's right, yeah, and the value of that metal 4x's. So what, you've made $1 million profit, but
Yeah.
number one, who's buying all that, and number two, how? What are
Yeah.
they buying it in? They're obviously not going to be buying it in dollars, but they're probably buying it in something. But yeah, but really, it's not even that high a return, is it? It really,
No, it's just the there's a reason why Bitcoin is Bitcoin and it's the fastest horse in the race. So yeah, maybe change strategy.
yeah. I don't hate it. If like you literally had 50 million in Bitcoin, right? You just actually did, no, a couple of hundred K in like these rare metals, or for whatever reason, like I don't know how large 5 million coins is. I'd love to have seen a big picture of it and seen the whole
Mm.
shebang. He showed a few boxes there, but like, does it fill out an entire room? Is it just a
Like
larger
a Scrooge
wardrobe?
McDuck big bank vault that you can
Yeah, like,
swim in.
because if it's that, then it's like, well, hold on, how you've got to store it is almost going to outcost the value of
Mm.
the thing in, because a decent vault of that size, right? It's probably going to cost you
Yeah.
250 to put the fucking thing in. But yeah, it's I don't completely hate it because obviously in the world in the financial markets, when the financial markets do collapse, having metals is going to be valuable, just as having skills like being able to be a doctor or a farmer or whatever. They're all going to be very desired skills because it was actually something I saw on LinkedIn the other day, and someone suddenly had the realization that AI isn't going after everything. It's mainly kind of going after, and well, actually a lot of VC money as well, and AI. It's largely going after tech. Like it's majority kind of there, like the jobs that surround it. So there's a lot of jobs
Yeah.
that are admin-y and legally, like, but by and large, it's tech. And they just completely forgot that there's a world outside of that. And there's loads of people that are plumbers, electricians. They build houses, they do gardens, they do your tiles on your roof, they lay roads, they all these farmers, like the physical kind of blue collar typical work. Fucking just about none of that's by and large being hugely affected. I suppose if you go into the manufacturing side, fine, like automation and AI will continue to erode stuff, but the
Agreed.
people that have real life skills, right, that do stuff, they're not freaking affected. So, I know who's going to be king of your village, town, or city if the financial collapse happens and everyone gets their money wiped off to zero, and we almost return back to a bit of a barter and trade system for a period of time. The people that have got skills that can fix boilers, fix leaking
Yeah.
pipes, grow food,
Yeah.
fix your car, they're going to be the kings. because no one's going to give a shit about all these tech jobs that, I myself have done my entire career. Fucking useless. Every single one of the skills that I learned was nearly completely not applicable to that type of world where it's like, well, all that matters to me right now is am I warm? Am I safe? Am I dry? And do I have food? Oh shit, one of those things is wrong. All my career experience does not help me solve any of that. So I can't fix a
Mm.
boiler, can't fix a water pump, can't grow your own food, can't fix a health issue with the family. None of those things, those skill sets are in like easy. And obviously, over the last couple of years, I've started to take myself off zero and pushing into those worlds, which is why I'm literally fixing my own water pump tomorrow because it's freaking broke.
Okay.
I have no water. So I've ordered a water pump. I'm installing it myself. I'm going to be a plumber and electrician all in one go. What can go wrong, right? Water and electricity. So if I'm not here for next week, then you know what happened. Freaking the installation went badly. But I'm trying to
You
like
got to
do
record
more
this.
stuff myself, as well as the fact that there's hardly any tradesmen around these days that I either trust or
I was
uh,
going to say
can be
that's
bothered
another
to do it.
thing. Yeah.
Because they already rule the roost, don't they? Yeah, I say in this financial collapse world, tradesmen will rule the roost. They fucking run it now.
Yeah.
What it made me laugh actually when I was reading this LinkedIn post. I'm like, all the high-paying kind of jobs and in the financial system in our current economy largely goes into tech, right? And all these people are earning massive wages to basically work in tech. But then where does it all go? And most of it obviously goes into property and cars. But then of your day-to-day income, where do all that go? And so many of people's bills, I think, are paying the boiler man, paying for your plumbing. It's like quite often the tradesmen kind of come in and like, oh, you want an extension? Yeah, 100 grand, mate. Oh, you want a patio? 20 grand. You know, they're raking it in these days, these guys. And
Yeah.
it's they're already coming in and like before, I think that kind of thing was very affordable. And obviously it's all to do with inflation as well. But I think it's just scarcity. There's so many people in tech. Everyone's a computer guy now, right? I remember when I was coming through, being into computers was still geeky, frowned upon. Oh, what you're a geek? Oh, you're going into computer science? Oh, good luck getting a girlfriend type comment. Now, if you're not doing something tech, like people look at you like you got three heads. It's and that's the problem. It's overloaded, right? Everybody's fucking in
Yeah.
that, which means nobody actually knows the physical like so you end up earning hundreds of thousands a year in these high profile job at tech, but then your boiler goes and you got fucking no clue what to do. You got to pay someone 10 grand to switch it back on. Or they charge you 250 to even walk through the fucking door. And then they'll walk off an hour
Exactly.
later, go, that's £500. Goes the problem fixed? No. Oh, what? I'm 750 quid in the hole and I've still got a broken boiler. I meant to be the smart one in this conversation. I don't feel very smart right now.
It's so
World lying to
true.
me. I think
Because
spoilers,
you
guys.
got no comeback. You got no comeback. If you don't do it, it's just like, well, that's it. You know, I
Yeah,
either trust you or we freeze.
yeah. You got the wife and kids behind you going, just get it back on. You're like, I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yeah, yeah, just
But
get
the guy's
sorted.
fleecing me at the moment. I'm trying to play hard to get, like I can just fix
Yeah,
it myself. Fucking
money is
hard.
no
And
option.
I've tried for hours already, and I know I can't. But this one, I've actually I've literally had no water in my house for 3 days.
Out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we,
that's
we all
not
just
that's
think,
not working with kids as well,
yeah. Well, at the moment, the bowl
especially
bath
where you live
is a thing. Yeah, we're
in the
literally.
middle of nowhere. So yeah, not like you can pop round to the neighbours for a quick shower.
I know. Yeah, at the moment we're having bowl baths. We literally water out the kettle in a bowl, and then you just wipe yourself down with it. To a certain extent, I kind of like returning to basics a little bit because I just know this pump will arrive tomorrow, and I hope to freaking hell, hope to Satoshi that I can actually install it. Like
Hope
I
to the
don't,
big man.
I don't. I don't hold I hold a higher than 0% chance that I will fix it, but the fact that whether I will fix it or not, but I just know when I switch whenever this fucking disaster ends and I switch that shower on and just hot water comes down, it's gonna be the best shower ever. So
Do you know
I'll
what I
I'll
recommend you to do?
what?
Is that you have a plumber ready to come out on Friday. Yeah. So you aim to fix it yourself, but you ask them to come round just as a backup plan in case. Because it'll be something super, super simple that us normies don't know,
I know.
but they know what to do, and they'll be just like, oh yeah, you forgot this here. It'll cost you 250 quid still,
I know. I know it's gonna.
but if you have that in the back of your mind, knowing that, okay, I'm going to do it, but there's the relief of someone else who'll come and fix it, I think it'll be better.
No, I do totally agree. At the moment, I think I'm in denial. I'm just like, I'm just going to do it. Good thing I phoned up a guy and he was super good. He FaceTimed in, had a look at my pump and that, and taught me through some stuff and kind of but basically gave me
Mm,
confidence. He basically went, "It's easy." So why am I struggling to get anyone who can come out then? He went, "Well, because it's
it's too
plumbing.
easy.
The plumbers don't want to do it because there's a load of electrics involved, and the electricians don't want to do it because there's plumbing involved." So, so I'm like, why is that? He's like, well, it's dangerous, isn't it? I went, so why are you telling me to do it, saying it's easy? You're basically telling me the pros don't want to do this job. Right?
Yeah.
You're telling me it's easy. And I'm just like, but then I just went basically like, right, um, what's wrong? We basically diagnosed it to go, the pump's screwed, right? He helped me diagnose that the pump's screwed. So I just went, well, how much is a pump? And he went, well, if you order it, it'll be 350. But if I bring it or anyone else, you'll probably be charging well over a grand. I'm like, well, I'm buying it myself then, aren't I? And he's like, yeah, yeah, of course you should do. So I bought it
Yeah.
myself. And then he's like, with the problem you got now though is a lot of the money was in the job is not only the time but buying your pump. So I'm like, so someone would want to make 700 quid off you basically to buy a pump for me. Oh, it's
Oh,
just so that just annoyed me anyway. So I'm like, right, I'm buying a pump and I'm fucking install it myself. And if it all blows up, then at least I didn't give a plumber 700 quid for nothing.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I probably should do, but I fucking ain't right now. I'm determined to fix it myself. So we will see. Next pod, we will find out whether I have water or not, or whether I'm even around or not. Whether my own belligerence was my final downfall. And installing a water pump was indeed not the best of my decisions.
As I say, I'm in Serbia next week, but I'll obviously be asking tomorrow, have you got water? Have you got water? Or are you swallowing the bitter pill that is checker trade?
Well, the thing, I did try there first, and it went out
Did
to like
you?
10
Yeah.
companies. I had three responses. It was
Yeah.
declines. They just declined the job. And then seven people just left me on red. That's what I
Oh.
mean. It's not like I've just gone straight into this. It's just got to the
Oh,
point where
yeah.
it, I phoned just about freaking everybody within almost like 100-mile radius of me that has the skills to do this, and they're either too busy or don't want to do it.
I don't want the job. Yeah.
So one guy actually explained roughly how to do it. So I just went, you know what? I'm going to order the bits and just see where I get, and then hopefully I do it, and if not, the round of
I
conversation
had,
again. And at least this point, I'm almost certain that it is the pump. So at least now, if I can get someone in the freaking inside my property, then
yeah.
the pump's there and they've got the bits. Because the worst case scenario is obviously you get that person, they come in and they're like, I need a
Yes.
new pump. Well, do you have one? He's like, no, I need to order it. It's gonna be 2 days. Shit. And then I'm gonna have to get him back.
Yeah. Oh,
So at least
yeah.
now
Yeah.
it should be one and done if I get someone now. Because I've
Yeah.
diagnosed the problem myself. And yeah, anyway, I don't know why we're talking about plumbing, but it's the end of the world, wasn't it? Because the thing is, like,
End
as
of the
much as
world.
it's shitty and I might kill myself, this is the type of thing that I do think about. That if this financial collapse happens and I've got my Bitcoin and all that kind of good stuff, I don't want to be paying out, you know, the equivalent of 200 grand to get my boiler fixed. When we're talking hyper Bitcoinization land, because I can't fix a basic water pump. So part of this is trying to upskill myself and getting out of the tech world and into the blue collar world and just going, you know what, you got to get your hands dirty here. If I can learn water pumps and boilers just at a foundational like apprentice level, that will probably save me tens of thousands over my lifetime. And if the end of the world happens, like just your family's warmth and water, right? Because that's the main thing, isn't it? It's not even about the money question,
Yeah,
those kind of core things. You just your house is unlivable, right? If there's no heating.
I thought about this and to the point of like plumbing and electrics, because obviously from a property perspective, I've needed to ask people to do these roles and jobs, but there's just never been a desire in me to want to learn. Maybe because I'm still super busy with work. And if I did have the time, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll pick it up. But when there's jobs to be done, majority of the time I'm just like, oh, just pay someone.
Yeah.
Just just pay them. Just take the problem away and pay them. I've got a kitchen that needs to be painted in one house because the ceiling was like done, and I've got somebody out, tradesperson. They've done that. They fixed the shower, done everything there, and now it just needs repainting. And I'm thinking I could do that half a day. I've already got the paint. It's just a case of doing it. Have zero desire to want to do it at all whatsoever. I'm like,
And where are you
nah,
finding half a day from, man? Yeah, you got a busy job and a mountain of kids.
exactly,
Where's that half a day just magicking out of?
exactly. And so when it comes to the weekend, and we're already busy on the weekend, and I don't really fancy going around there at night after work to do it. I'm thinking, just tell me how much, and just make it, just do it.
Yeah. The problem is, though, that is what the majority of society, I think, is like now, because
Yes,
we are so heavily worked. And if once you get a family, you end up going, I don't even want to know how my house is really put together. I don't
no,
want to know the electrics, the boiler, the plumbing. Let's just, it's just a magic skill that you can only learn if you went down this different path. And I didn't. I went down tech. So it's just dead to me. It's almost like, like in the game of life where you pick go to university or not. And whenever you take that, it's a permanent decision. You never change it. It almost
correct.
like feels like we're all playing that game and we think that's the rule. And you are allowed to jump over.
God.
Like it's not banned. But but yeah, I think it's the way that like most people's lives are now. It's just not even the bandwidth to even delve into any of those topics at a decent level. And because you're earning good
Exactly.
money, it's better just to go, you know what, I know I'm well overpaying and I could probably do it myself at pretty much the same level of like completion rate, but I just don't have the time. So you pay over the odds, which ironically then means you have to work harder and then you have less time. And it's almost like it's just part of the rat race, isn't it? Like once you're in it,
Yeah,
there's just
yeah.
there's always a carrot dangling in front of you that, well, this is a bigger opportunity than that one, so I'll just pay a bit of the carrot to that person, and before you know it, someone else wants a bit of the carrot. I did it, and you're like, there's no carrot left. Oh, but there's another carrot just down here. I run to that one, and
It's You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly it.
but I'm sure if we went back 100 years, the average person, even if they were a city person, working in the city doing the business, and guarantee they'd still be pretty handy on like play.
Yeah,
Ride
yeah,
horses.
yeah, yeah.
Majority of things in your house, you'd be the
Yeah,
fix
you're right.
yourself. It would be probably put in
Yeah,
by the family themselves, and you've still got your specific trades and stuff like your swords and freaking what is it horse and carriages or whatever it was freaking back then. But um, yeah, I think we just lost a lot of
to,
it, and I'm really feeling it now. Once you move out and you start trying to plan for stuff, you go, "Geez, how incompetent am I really?" And it's yeah, it's not easy this stuff either. But then at the same time, I think it's a little bit like cooking. Provided you kind of know the steps, nothing's hard. It's like super
no,
simple. It's
super
just
simple.
it's just that someone takes the cooking instructions away and goes like, doesn't even tell you what ingredients to put in or what in what order, and just goes like, make this cake and then showed you a picture. Like now, like
Mm,
there's near zero chance that I make that cake because my ability to make cakes like that is non-existent. But if someone just went, "This is how you make that cake, right? Here's the instructions, here's the ingredients, da da da." You go, "I'm not an idiot. I can follow these steps. Like to mix these ingredients together, then put it in the oven for that long, and then take it out and put icing on it." That is like, I can do this. This is just the same with plumbing and electricity. Weirdly, it's not. If you just try and jump in and just start banging stuff together, you're gonna have a bad time. But if you're just methodical with it and go, all right, let's just find a guide to do it, and then you just follow some
yeah,
steps, and you're like, all right, so that pipe comes out, that one goes in, that wire comes off there, and it goes on there, and then that is about basically those steps about 20 times over, and you go, all right, let's give it a whirl. Anyway, talking about AI taking over the world and all these tech jobs, and everyone suddenly realizing they can't even tie their own shoelaces. Um, Here we are referencing AI on its opinion of Bitcoin, which is,
yeah,
um, God, yeah, digital currency. But yet again, it's very, very far away from the blue collar world. But I thought this was good at the where it's just the fact that it shows how Grok is freaking massively being orange pilled from the look of it. Because someone's basically just gone. Um, yeah, so it's the original tweet. The most mind-blowing fact about the fiat world is this: if all debt was repaid, then there'd be no money left in circulation. Every time I explain this, what happened there? I clicked on something. Um, yeah, every time I say it to a normie, they look at me sideways, and this is very true. But Grok, can you explain? And Grok does explain. It was interesting this because it doesn't seem to make sense, does it? And if all the debt was repaid,
no,
wouldn't be basically it's more basically the basic concept is there's more debt than money. So if all the debt's paid, then there's no money left. And the question is, well,
mm,
where the hell's all the debt being paid? But Grok explains it better. It's accurate. In modern fractional reserve banking systems, commercial banks create more circulating money as deposits when they issue loans, crediting borrowers' accounts with an equal withdrawal elsewhere. Repaying those loans extinguishes the principal, shrinking the money supply back down toward the limited base money issued by central banks. The debt money dynamic requires perpetual borrowing to sustain growth, fueling inflation and system fragility. Bitcoin's fixed supply avoids this trap entirely. It's interesting how Grok is the one that introduced Bitcoin now. And obviously, it puts the fractional reserve banking square in at fault because, as we know, that if someone deposits 10K, sometimes they can lend that money out 10 times. So now suddenly 10K's become 100K. So there's 100 grand of debt based on only 10K of deposit. So that's,
yeah,
I guess, the core principle of what Grok's saying now is that if everyone paid back all the debt, um, there would be no money left because there's not enough money to pay all the debt back because debt was just created off the top of money. And all he does is says thanks. And he goes, "You're welcome. Fiat's debt-based illusion keeps the system hooked on endless borrowing, but Bitcoin breaks the cycle with scarcity and sovereignty. Spread the word." You just go, holy shit. If Grok's going around doing that to stuff, it's going to be quite an effective little orange pillar, Mr. Grok.
mm.
It's good shit.
I wonder if again, would people actually buy into that and go down the rabbit hole?
Who knows? But I do like the fact that I know the fact that like almost certainly, like, a lot of people ask Grok for its point of view on a lot of topics. It's almost become a meme already. People will tweet
Yeah.
something out, and anything that goes even slightly viral, you can almost guarantee one of the top replies will be, "Grok, is this true?" Because people do, it can't be asked verifying it themselves anymore. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
is hard, isn't it? Sometimes you just can't be
Yeah.
asked. So it's easier just to. So I even find myself doing it now. I look for the comment that goes, "Grok, is this true?" I click on it to then look at Grok's reply, and then quite often it's pretty cut and dry. It's never hardly ever on the fence. It's either this is complete bollocks, it's AI, it's a reposted story from 4 years ago, da da da. Or it just explains the post and goes, yeah, yeah, it is true, and then basically expands on it, usually better than the original tweeter. You know, it almost makes you think like, do we even need to be tweeting everybody? Let's let Grok tweet for us because it tweets really good stuff correctly every time. And yeah, so yeah, so the fact that a lot of people use Grok for that, the fact that it's positive towards Bitcoin, every time people start talking about inflation or ask it about Bitcoin, this will probably be the one place, will be X, where they will just get genuinely good information about Bitcoin, as opposed to the biased bollocks that you'll get probably just about anywhere else, which will go,
Yeah.
oh, it's super volatile, bad for the environment. There's a load of shit coins that the next Bitcoin could break it. There will be all that nonsense surrounded about it, but Grok just answers like a Bitcoiner, which is quite refreshing. So who knows? It could help, right? But again, I think the X population I think is quite similar to the Joe Rogan population, which is
Mm.
I already think that the people in those spaces that are going to buy Bitcoin probably have already gone down those paths. Um, if this was happening like in Facebook land, I'd be like, wow, this is massive. Because that's a load of idiots that literally just, in reality, I say idiots, they have any time to think about anything else by and large than working in the family. And then the little bit of time they probably do have is they just argue with their relatives on Facebook and post pictures of their highlight reel, the one good picture of the day gets posted, and then all the ones of all the meltdowns and arguments with the with the your partner are all just forgotten. It's like great day at the zoo today. Like just right, well, no, you freaking hated it. Everyone's crying, not talking to each other anymore. Um, but it would be fantastic if their AI did this, but I can guarantee it doesn't, because at least that they're the kind of people we need to get in front of because. I have a feeling if you're on X, I don't know. I mean, you're already quite close to Bitcoin anyway. It'd be quite hard for you to avoid it.
Yeah.
It just sucks in the type of different demographic as well, I think. People that do just want to shout obscenities into the ethos. That's kind of a Bitcoiner thing to do. You don't do that around your friends and family, really. Leave them to the side and go, oh, they don't need to know what I'm really like. Just leave them in ignorance. And yeah. That's why we most of us
And
don't have Facebook accounts.
and I'll take us out with our last story that Andrew Tate has over 21 million Bitcoin. Now, anyone that is a true Bitcoiner, you'll know that's impossible. But on Sky News, they say different.
And Andrew Tate has confirmed that it is true. He does know. Yeah, admittedly,
Oh
I think
God.
this is quite an old video to be fair. 'Cause I think and I won't even bother playing the video. It's just a Sky News reporter getting confused. I think he means 21 million worth of Bitcoin, but they do
Hmm.
get confused, don't they? Because they do say he has 21 million Bitcoin, which means it's worth like 400 million or something. And this wasn't that long ago. So even that they got wrong because, well, basically, if you're trying to work out what 21 million is, it's the entire market cap of Bitcoin. And I'm pretty sure the market cap of Bitcoin was far, far higher than that. So, well, yeah, they said 400 million. Yeah. So it'd be, at the very least, it'd be 400 billion. Like, even if that was in a big kind of bear market, because obviously we're well over the trillion now. So, yeah, the person had
And
clearly absolutely no clue what they were talking about, but that just shows you to a certain extent. Probably just they've heard about Bitcoin, but do they understand even the very, very basics? Like how many are there? People are paid good money to report on this stuff, and he obviously did had no clue what he's talking about, did
no. Yeah, I think that it's going to be 19. Could he have 19,000 Bitcoin roughly?
No.
No. Uh,
No, I think if he had 20 million, and he's probably got no, and that was back then, and it's basically Bitcoin's doubled in a bit, maybe tripled, and that he's now got
yeah.
maybe 100 million of Bitcoin. I go, that's about right. Probably about right. Because
I'm just trying
he
to.
was heavy into Bitcoin about I think 2018, I think, when he came in. And he was obviously, I think, pretty wealthy, and he was right in the perfect use case for Bitcoin as well, being chased by the international authorities and having all his assets frozen. It makes absolute sense to convert his wealth into Bitcoin. So if he had to flee a country, obviously he can take his wealth with him. But yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
he won't be in the tens of thousands of coins because when you get to that, he'd be worth billions now. And I don't think
Yeah.
he's in that league. I think he has a couple 100 million, Tate. Mostly that he gets off young lads paying for his freaking dating advice, which I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And I did see him. He
So
actually had a big tip on a shitcoin as well. I think it was Sue or something. And that was one of the ones that got completely wrecked
oh,
in
of course.
in the crash. So anyone that follows his investing advice got wrecked. But obviously he just pivots and goes, oh, I'm just in Bitcoin. Don't know what you're talking about. Oh, just hold it for
Yeah.
5 or 10 years. Like create a business,
Yeah.
losers. You think you can just trade an asset and make millions? Like fucking work your ass off. It's like, dude, I get
Yeah.
that, but you are literally charging people for investment advice. So maybe when it goes wrong,
Mm,
don't know, maybe take a tiny bit of accountability. But I guess if you're going to pay
yeah.
someone like him and expect him to apologize or give you a refund, then
Yeah.
you're in the
Not
wrong
gonna
fucking
happen.
game, aren't you?
Just looking through the comments, it looks like $21 million worth of Bitcoin, which would
Wow.
make more sense.
Yeah. Um,
Right. Well, there we have it.
yeah, go.
Another show brought to you in part by Mr. Orlin, aka the $1 trillion Man, myself, So Never Look, aka the Excellence of Execution, no Dr. Evil 10%, aka the People's Champion, no Mrs. No Show, no show, no show, no show. We don't even get responses back these days, so forget her being on the podcast. This was Pod 184. Peace out.